So let's talk firstly about the situation with the Maori Party and the Mana Party and their agreement that's been announced. Is Labour still confident that it can take all of the Maori seats following this deal that's been done?
Yes, absolutely. The Maori Party is suffering enormously, has done for the last 9 years because it's shackled itself to the National Party. It is now widely regarded as the Maori Party branch, the Maori branch of the National Party. Hone Harawira, who abandoned the Maori Party some years ago because of its closeness to the National Party, has now rejoined them, and yet nothing has changed. This is confused. It's all over the place. We've got fantastic Māori MPs in 6 of the 7 Māori seats. We'll get Tamati Coffey and Waiariki. We've got other Māori candidates in other seats. I'm very confident about the growing strength of our Māori caucus.
Saying that the Maori Party is essentially the Maori wing of National, is that not somewhat of an insult to the many people who voted for it?
But you look at what has happened with the Māori Party having hitched its wagon to the National Party for the whole time the National Party has been in government. What has happened to Māori? Nothing has changed in terms of Māori representation, for example, in the criminal justice system. Nothing has changed in terms of Māori being totally overrepresented in unemployment statistics. 25% now in parts of New Zealand, Māori unemployment. The Māori Party has represented nothing, no change at all. And in things that matter like housing, they've done nothing at all, had no influence whatsoever on the National Party. The Māori Party has represented nothing for Māori in its relationship with National. Hone Harawira wants to sign up to that. Okay, let him go. But we will campaign, and Labour Māori MPs will campaign strongly on what we have to offer Māori, which is something way better than what they're getting at the moment.
Okay, the Labour vote is high in those Māori seats, but is there also a hunger from the voters in those seats to have an electorate MP who is from a kaupapa Māori party?
Well, the Māori Party is not kaupapa Māori. We know that. It has conceded on every important issue affecting Māori in the last 9 years.
They'd probably take issue with that.
Well, they haven't. I mean, in the end, what it comes down to is how do Māori have the strongest voice, not just in Parliament, but in government. At the moment, it comes through the Māori Party, which is 2 MPs, tacked on to a National Party that doesn't need to listen to them on anything if it doesn't wish to. It's all kind of grace and favour stuff. Labour Māori MPs are an integral part of the party. They have a permanent seat at the table. They'll have a permanent seat around Cabinet as well as in the wider caucus, and they will play a leadership role in a way that the Māori Party simply cannot in relation to the National Party at the moment.
OK, but is it not the case that Willie Jackson, who may well be in the Labour caucus come September the 24th, didn't he help to broker part of this deal between those two parties?
I'm not. Well, the deal that was announced yesterday is a deal between the Mana and the Māori Party. I'm not sure Willie Jackson has had anything to do with that at all.
Wasn't he part though of getting the Māori Party to stand aside in Te Tai Tokoro to give Hone Harawira a shot at it?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, look, there have been plenty of people that have tried to get the Māori Party to do and provide strong advocacy for Māori, and Willie Jackson will have been amongst those in the last few years. But actually, the fact that Willie Jackson has come on board with the Labour Party is an expression of the frustration and actually just abandoning the Māori Party because they are so hopeless and have done nothing effective for Māori. This is the nature of Māori politics right now. The Māori Party doesn't represent anything effective when it comes to Māori aspirations, and Māori are looking elsewhere, and so they should.
You're having a fair crack at the Maori Party today. Is that a way of telling voters and by telling the public that you wouldn't want to work with the Maori Party if you were in a position to be forming a government after the election?
Well, I'll look to, if I have the privilege of forming a government after the election, I'll be looking to parties that have substance and that have. And
the Maori Party doesn't?
No, they're not. Well, they're 2 MPs now. They're going to struggle to hold on to what they've got. They simply are not in my contemplation when it comes to formation of government after the 23rd of September.
OK. But if Labour stood back in some or all of those Māori seats and campaigned simply for the party vote, couldn't Labour not end up with potentially a block of MPs they could work with coming from Mana or coming from the Māori Party that could actually help you be in a position that could form a government?
Māori want strong advocacy on their issues. They're not getting it from the Māori Party. Hone Harawira can't offer it because he's in and out of different waka, up in the Māori one moment, out of the Māori Party, back in with Mana and Internet and Kim.com, then into the Māori Party. He is all over the show. Māori want strong, consistent leadership and advocacy. That's what they get from Labour Māori MPs, and that's what they'll continue to get.
So you're going to be essentially scrapping it out for the Maori vote between yourselves, the Maori Party, the Mana Party, just to name a few here. Are you thinking that having someone like Willie Jackson in your corner is going to be the chip that's going to make a difference?
Well, Willie Jackson has an appeal to Māori, particularly urban Māori, but he has been active in raising and lifting Māori aspirations, particularly in West Auckland and South Auckland, and indeed across the country, and he'll continue to play that role. Our other Māori MPs, sitting Māori MPs at the moment, play a very strong role within the Labour Party. We'll be campaigning very hard in their seats. Then we've got new candidates, obviously Tamati Coffey I've talked about in Waiariki, Kitty Allen in East Coast. I mean, she's a stunning talent for us, and hopefully we'll get her in as well. So Labour is strengthening its Māori representation and the Māori voice within it, and that will give Māori a much better chance to do better when it comes to addressing those core issues of better performance in education, better performance in employment, and getting a justice system that treats them fairly.
Would you want to see some of your high-profile Māori MPs, like Kelvin Davis, for example, to have a high listing just simply to protect them in case something goes somewhat awry?
Actually, that's not what they're telling me. They're telling me the opposite. They are fearful of a high list place because they don't want to give the impression that they are kind of being held up by belts and braces. So
they're actually advocating for a low list place.
Yes, I mean the list committee will do its work and we'll hear from everybody. But the Māori MPs are saying to me right now, do not give us high list places. We want to fight this out and stand on our own digs in our seat because we know and we can win and we're going to be confident about our success.
Okay, so I suppose the other question around the list, which I know is not entirely in your gift, you're one of, I think, 22 people that look at this stuff. How is it that you're going to ensure this 50% women, female representation in the caucus with the list positioning? Because I think you have 5 MPs, male MPs, who will be list only, but only 2 women. So are you going to have you as number 1 and 9, 10, 12 women after that?
No, there'll be. We are absolutely on target to achieve the objective we've got of 50% women in our caucus following the 23rd of September election. Absolutely on target for that. There are a whole heap of names that people haven't heard of and nominations that have been made for the list that people haven't heard of. I'm not going to go into all those, but I'm gauging this pretty much on a weekly basis right now, and we are totally on target. I'm confident that when we produce our list in May or whenever it is, I think the end of April, people will see that we are serious about that objective, that we'll be able to achieve it.
And just a quick question about Greg O'Connor as well, because both he and Paul Eagle recently confirmed for seats in Wellington for Labour. Are they both going to be in winnable list positions?
Not quite sure. I mean, as I say, we've got to go through the list process yet. And, you've got Rongotai, which is, arguably a safe Labour seat. You've got Ahari, which is certainly contestable. And Greg will be putting up a very, very strong campaign there. Got a good team around him. We have a lot of support from the wider party as well. Where that translates into where each of them appears on the list, I mean, the list committee is yet to do its job in that regard.
Thank you very much for your time.